So let's take a look at questions from wastewater engineering quiz, and the quiz had total 40 number of multiple choice questions, and we are going to take a look at solutions, and we will be discussing the options given in the question. Okay, see, the first question is sewage is wastewater from. See, whenever we are referring to a specific word sewage, we are looking at wastewater from bathroom and kitchen basin. Okay, wastewater from bathroom and kitchen basin is referred to as or is called as sewage. Okay, therefore answer for first question is sewage is wastewater from bathrooms and kitchen. All right, now let's go to question number next. Okay, fill in the blank has least moisture content. See, garbage, sludge, rubbish, and sewage. Here we will first eliminate out the terms which is having most or maximum moisture content. Sewage has maximum moisture content. Let's erase this down. Then sludge. Sludge contains water content or moisture content, let's say. Now we are here at garbage and rubbish. Now see, garbage contains organic, inorganic, and putrescible waste, okay, that can undergo decomposition. But when we are saying rubbish, rubbish contains mostly cardboard, paper, sheets, and mostly combustible atom. And when we are saying mostly combustible atom, it means that the moisture content of those atoms is very less. Okay, rubbish refers to mostly combustible atoms. Okay, that's why it is directing to a point that it has least moisture content. Okay, garbage may contain vegetables, leftovers. Okay, that's why the moisture content of garbage is more than what rubbish has. The correct answer here is rubbish. Rubbish has least moisture content. Okay, then a sewer should have what a sewer should have: non-scoring velocity, self-cleansing velocity, both or none. Now see, let's see, non-scoring velocity and self-cleansing velocity is what? Whenever we are talking about a sewer, it should generate a velocity that will take care of all the obstacles that have formed because of lodging of the waste content in it. Okay, let's say here a sewer is there. Okay, and if some waste has stumbled upon, or if some waste is getting deposited, then the velocity of the incoming wastewater should be maintained by the sewer such that all the deposited waste will go away. Okay, this minimum velocity should be generated in sewer. Okay, and this minimum velocity is called as self-cleansing velocity. Now the velocity should not get that much such as it will be scoring, or it will be eroding the surface of this sewer. Okay, and this maximum limit of velocity inside a sewer is called as non-scoring velocity. Okay, therefore the velocity inside a sewer should be such that it will not score, or it will not cause erosion of the sewer, as well as it will take care of cleansing function inside the sewer. That's why a sewer should have both self-cleansing velocity as well as non-scoring velocity. Alright, let's go to question number next, which is for combined system of sewerage, fill in the blank shape sewers are best. Which shape of sewer is best suited for combined system? See, the egg-shaped sewer are best suited for combined system. Okay, the answer is egg shape. Although egg-shaped sewers are difficult to construct, difficult to maintain, but when we are talking about combined system of sewerage, that is, the sewer will be carrying storm water as well as dry weather flow in a combined manner. There will not be a separate sewer for dry weather flow and a separate one for the storm water flow. The only one egg-shaped sewer will be there, and it will be taking care of storm water as well as dry weather flow, as well as it will be very much capable of generating a self-cleansing velocity. Okay, in case of dry weather flow, the problem is no self-cleansing velocity generated in a large diameter sewer, but here the specific shape of this sewer will be making it itself eligible in order to generate the self-cleansing velocity. That's why for combined system of sewerage, what we are doing, we are going to use egg-shaped sewer. Okay, now let's go to question number next. Lateral sewer receives wastewater from the house sewer. Okay, for example, number of houses are there, 1 2 3, let's say again 1 2 3 on two sides of the road, let's say. Okay, and this is going to be the lateral sewer. Okay, and this lateral sewer receives wastewater from house sewer, from independent house. Okay, one sewer from each house. All these house sewer dispose or discharge of their wastewater into what? Lateral sewer. Okay, let's go to question number next, which is saying in sewer network, fill in the blank is used that collects grit and sand from wastewater. Okay, whose function is that? Is it manhole? Is it catch pit? Is it clean out or fall? See, manhole is there when we want to change the direction of the sewer and for inspection, cleaning and maintenance of the sewer. Then catch pit is there. Catch pit does what? Catch pit collects all the grit and sand from wastewater and it prevents their entry into the wastewater. Okay. Now what clean out is? Clean out is nothing but a flushing system that generates a cleansing velocity and then it dislodges all the waste that has been generated or collected over in a sewer. Okay, fall is there in order to make or maintain the specified slope of the sewer. Okay, in case some abrupt level change is there, we are going to use fall. Okay, therefore the answer is in sewer network, catch pit is used that collects grit and sand from wastewater. Okay, the name itself it is suggestive that it collects or catches grit and sand from wastewater. Alright, let's go to question number next, which is saying color of fresh sewage is. See, when we are talking about color of the fresh sewage, mostly it is grayish. Okay, color of fresh sewage generally it is grayish, and when we are saying that the color will be dark brown or black or let's say chocolatey, even dark brown, let's say we are talking about chocolatey color. See, these kind of coloration will be there when the sewage gets stale. With passage of time, the grayish color is going to convert into the shades of black. Okay, but remember, color of fresh sewage is grayish. Then Imhoff cone is used to determine. What do we use Imhoff cone for? We use Imhoff cone in order to determine settleable solid in a sewage sample. Now what Imhoff cone is? It is nothing but an inverted cone which has a capacity of how much? 1 liter. Okay, 1 liter is the capacity of this Imhoff cone, and what we do, we take sample of wastewater and we let it settle in that Imhoff cone for 2 hours. Okay, we will let it settle for 2 hours, and whatever the sludge, whatever the settleable solid that are getting collected at the bottom of the cone are taken and measured. Okay, Imhoff cone gives us idea about how much settleable solids are there in our wastewater sample. Alright, let's go to question number next, which is saying process of trapping and grinding the wastewater debris is called as. See, whenever we are talking about trapping waste, we look at screening units. Okay, what the screening unit does, whatever the floating or large objects are there in wastewater, they are trapped or they are caught before they enter any wastewater treatment unit. Okay, but the other keyword is grinding. See, the combined work of trapping as well as grinding is done by comminuters. Okay, the word is comminuter. What comminuters do, or what the comminution process is all about, it traps and then it converts or shreds all the organic matter or inorganic matter which is present in the wastewater into small size particle, so that they get trapped or they get collected or they get settled or they get stabilized in the further units of wastewater treatment. Okay, the comminution process make use of macerator is there, comminutor is there, and barminutors are there. Okay, there are three devices we are talking about in comminution process: macerator, comminutor, and barminutor. Okay, the answer is here comminution. Then, which of the following process is additive process in wastewater treatment? Okay, we are talking about additive process. See, there are two kind of process in wastewater treatment. Either it is additive or it is subtractive. See, whenever we will be talking about biological process, all right, biological process is a subtractive process. Okay, because whatever the organics that are involved in the wastewater or that are involved in wastewater treatment, all the organics are split and they are converted into simpler constituent which we can get rid of easily, is done in biological processes only. And when we are saying that a process is additive, the process is chemical process. Okay, because in order to make the wastewater content settle down, or in order to stabilize the wastewater content, whatever content we want to get rid of, we have to add a chemical that either results into some added mineral or some added compound into the wastewater, or some precipitate is generated that we need to take care of later. Therefore, when we are talking about biological process, the biological process is taking away some content from the wastewater, and when we are talking about chemical process, the process is adding some new compound, some new component into that wastewater. Okay, that's why when we are saying a process is additive, we have to look at which process? Chemical process. Okay, because we are adding chemical for the treatment purpose. Then secondary treatment is what? Secondary treatment is, obviously, when we are talking about preliminary treatment and primary treatment, these treatments are physical, and when we say secondary treatment, the process is biological. Okay, secondary treatment is nothing but biological treatment process. Rotating biological contactor, let's say, or trickling filter, high rate trickling filter, let's say, or activated sludge process, all these processes or all these treatment units are considered under secondary treatment, or they are referred to as biological treatment. Okay, then filter media is in trickling filter is okay, the word pole is wrong here. The question is, filter media in trickling filter is, it can be stone, yes. Can it be brick bats? Yes. Can it be slag? Yes. See, we need to have a stable, solid, hard and porous media when we are aiming to place it in any trickling filter. That's why the answer will be any of the above. Okay, then activated sludge process is nothing but a large aeration tank, sedimentation or screening tank. See, activated sludge process means we are going to put activated culture of microorganism in a tank where we will be receiving wastewater from primary settling tank, and then it will be going over there. It will be thoroughly getting mixed up with the activated or active microbial culture, and for sustenance, for maintenance, for the nourishment of the bacteria inside that tank, we will be providing them oxygen. Okay, and oxygen provision is nothing but aeration. Okay, here the microbes will be receiving food from the wastewater. Whatever the organic content is there, the microorganism will be thriving on that organic content, and for their sustenance, for their existence, we will be providing oxygen via aeration process. Okay, that's why we can easily say that activated sludge process is nothing but a large aeration tank. Okay, then to match demand exerted by microorganisms in ASP or activated sludge process, fill in the blank aeration is preferred. See, when we are saying that we have to match the demand exerted by microorganisms in that ASP tank or activated sludge process tank, what we will be doing? See, let's say this is the activated clutch process. We are receiving waste order from PST, we are sending it to SST, some part is recycled. Okay, that's some else part. Right now we are going to discuss how we are going to match the microorganism demand. See, just upon entry, let's say the total tank is divided into 3 zones. Okay, see, then what we are doing, we are dividing length of the activated sludge tank process in a 3 number of zones. Okay, now what is going to happen, we are going to receive the wastewater here. Okay, here microorganism will be maximum active. Let's say these are the number of microorganisms we are seeing. Then as we move on along the length, okay, number of microorganisms will be less because most of the food will be consumed in this zone. Okay, then least number of microorganisms will be here because number of microorganisms is reducing because food is getting extinguished as we are proceeding, as we are traveling from the length, along the length. Okay, less food, less microorganism, less will be the stress on aeration unit for provision of oxygen. Therefore, if we are saying that this is the oxygen, let's say this is the base level of oxygen. Okay, if this is the oxygen level required in zone number 1, then this will be the oxygen required in zone number 2, then this will be the oxygen level required in zone number 3. Therefore, the oxygen level is continuously or gradually decreasing, and this continuous decrease, okay, this continuous decrease over the zone is called as tapered aeration. Okay, we are going to proportionate the demand and supply thing. Okay, therefore we will be decreasing the oxygen demand with respect to what, with respect to the zone, with respect to length. Okay, what we will be doing, we will be reducing or tapering the oxygen supply or air supply. That's why tapered aeration is preferred. Then bacterial algal symbiotic relationship exists in ASB, trickling filter, RBC, or oxidation pond or facultative pond. See, when we are talking about facultative pond or oxidation pond, there exists a bacterial algal symbiotic relationship. Let's see how it exists. For example, this is the oxidation pond or facultative pond we are talking about. Now, it is open to sun. Okay, the oxidation or facultative pond is open to sun. Now what will happen, the algae will be thriving inside the oxidation pond. Okay, now algae will be giving out oxygen. Okay, algae is giving out what, O2, oxygen, and this oxygen is consumed by the bacteria. Okay, let's say this is bacteria, they are looking cute but they aren't. Okay, this oxygen is being consumed by bacteria, and now what bacteria is providing to the algae in return, see, whatever the complex organic constituents are there present inside the sewage or wastewater, they are broken apart, they are split by bacteria for their consumption, and these split nutrients, split constituents are consumed by the algae for their growth. Now see, here is the cycle we are talking about. Okay, this is bacteria and this is algae. Algae is giving out what, oxygen. Bacteria are doing what, they are splitting the food and they are converting the food into simpler constituent which can be consumed by the algae for their sustenance, for their growth, and in return algae is giving oxygen. Therefore there is a cycle of dependency. Okay, there is a symbiotic relationship between the bacteria and algae. Just like the movie Venom, Hardy Brock was dependent on the venom for its power, and in return the venom was giving him power, and the Hardy Brock, the person, the character, was giving him space to live. That was also a symbiotic relationship that is shown in Marvel movie Venom. Okay, same here, bacteria and algae are having their symbiotic relationship. Then, rotating biological contactors treat wastewater by fill in the blank treatment. Is it suspended? It is attached? Is it combined or all? See, when we are talking about RBC or rotating biological contactor, they look something like this. For example, this is a tank and there are several number of discs which are fitted over a rod or shaft, and these discs rotate at a very low RPM, let's say 1 to 3 RPM inside the wastewater, and 40% submergence is provided. This submergence is how much? 40%. Now what happens? Whatever the organics are there, whatever the organic material there is stuck over, or it gets lodged itself, or it adheres itself on the disc, on the rotating disc. Okay, along with the organic matter, bacteria will also thrive on it. Okay, and as food and bacteria are thriving on the disc, it creates a biofilm. Okay, and this kind of growth on the disc of RBC is nothing but attached growth. Okay, because the organics and microorganisms are adhering themselves or attaching themselves or lodging themselves on the surface of the disc. Okay, that's why what we will say, RBC treat wastewater by attached growth process. Alright, let's go to question number next. Acid fermentation and methane fermentation process take place in aerobic digester, anaerobic, facultative, or none. See, acid fermentation and methane fermentation, first stage is acid fermentation, second stage is methane fermentation. These two processes take place in anaerobic digester. Okay, methane is generated in anaerobic digester. Acid fermentation, methane fermentation is the processes we are talking in the anaerobic digester. Then for velocity control of wastewater in grid chamber, what we are going to use? See, we can use proportional flow weir, we can use partial plume, we can use Sutro weir, or means we can use anything which is mentioned in the option. That's why the correct answer should be any of the above. We can use any of the three mentioned devices for the velocity control in wastewater, or wastewater in grid chamber. Then what the question is, following is not a factor responsible for self purification of river. Sunlight, yes, sunlight does help in self purification of river, because sunlight contains the ultraviolet ray, and ultraviolet ray act as disinfectant in purification of river. Then sedimentation, obviously it is going to help, because along the length of river, let's say along the length of river, whatever the point of disposal is there, we are receiving wastewater here. Then organic matter will be settling down, it will be undergoing anaerobic decomposition, and the upper layer will be cleansed out. Okay, therefore the force of gravity sedimentation process is going to help the purification of river. Okay, then dilution, obviously at this point concentration of wastewater will be very much, then because of the stream, because of high volume of water in the river, the wastewater will be distributing in its concentration, or it will be diminishing in its concentration along the length of the river. Therefore at one point concentration will be more, but as you progress ahead you will be receiving clearer water. Okay, that's why dilution is also a factor that helps in self purification of river. Okay, then second stage BOD is it ammonious or carbonaceous or nitrogenous or sulfuric? See, first stage BOD is always carbonaceous. Okay, and when we are saying second stage, it is nitrogenous. Okay, first is C, second is N, carbonaceous and nitrogenous. Nitrogenous is the answer. Alright, then most common and conventional expression of biochemical oxygen demand is, okay, biochemical oxygen demand is generally, commonly, mostly, conventionally expressed as 5-day 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, it is written as BOD 5 at 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, the most common convention of writing biochemical oxygen demand is 5-day. Okay, the period is 5-day and temperature of maintenance is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, then which method of settling uses natural forces only? See, when the two words are there, settling and natural force, then it means that we are looking at a tank that solely uses gravity force for the purpose of clarification. Okay, for the purpose, not clarification exactly, for the purpose of settlement. Okay, for the purpose of sedimentation. That's why the answer will be, is it with coagulation? No. Is it chemical precipitation? No. We are talking about plain sedimentation here. Okay, plain sedimentation is the one that solely uses or totally relies on the force of gravity for causing the sedimentation. Then, which of the following is suspended growth treatment unit? Okay, we just saw what attached growth is. Now we will be seeing what suspended growth is. See here, rotating biological contactor. We discussed attached growth regarding rotating biological contactor or RBC. Therefore, this is not a suspended growth treatment unit. Is it trickling filter? No. In trickling filter, the filter media adheres the biofilm over itself. Okay, it is not trickling filter. Then packed bed reactor, no. Also in packed bed reactor, the media helps the biofilm to grow and cause the settlement, or not settlement exactly, stabilization of the organic matter. When now we are talking about sludge digestion, it is a suspended growth treatment unit. Okay, in sludge digestion, what is happening? We are not providing any media or stone or a surface so that biofilm growth is taking place or bacteria are thriving inside that atmosphere, or bacterial culture is getting settled over some surface. Okay, there is no surface. Total volume of the tank is used for cultivation of bacteria and the stabilization of organic matter. Okay, let's say this is the sludge digester. Then in this sludge digester, what is happening? This is the volume of wastewater we are talking, and in this volume there is no surface for growth of bacteria. Inside the volume only bacteria are thriving, and they are thriving on what? Organic matter which is present in the wastewater or the sludge. Okay, same way in sludge digestion, the sludge is getting digested, or it is undergoing the chemical reaction inside the volumes only. Okay, there is no surface or there is no media present in sludge digestion. Okay, this is the concept of suspended growth. Suspended growth means a tank is there whose volume will be utilized by the bacteria for thriving, or by the chemical reaction in order to settle, or in order to stabilize the wastewater, or let's say sludge here in this case. Okay, in attached growth, some surface will be there, some media will be there, okay, over which bacterial biofilm will be taking place. Then DO content is determined by, DO means dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen is determined by Winkler's method. Okay, Winkler method is the one in order to determine DO. Then tertiary treatment is used to. Why we are going to use tertiary treatment? We are going to use tertiary treatment in order to get rid of soluble inorganics, not insoluble organics, soluble inorganics, such as phosphorus is there or nitrogen is there. Okay, in order to get rid of soluble inorganics, we are going to use tertiary treatment. It consists of activated carbon treatment. Okay, it is expensive and it is rarely used. We often stop after secondary treatment. Okay, we provide disinfection to the final stage of wastewater. Okay, and we treat the sludge by sludge digestion. Tertiary treatment is rarely used because it is not only expensive but also difficult to operate and maintain. Okay, then fill in the blank is not a chemical treatment unit process. Is it flocculation, or is it disinfection? Is it gas transfer or adsorption? See, when we are talking about chemical treatment unit process, we are talking about adding a chemical or adding a compound inside the wastewater. Here, in the process of disinfection, either we are going to add chlorine, okay, or chlorine gas. In gas transfer also means addition or subtraction of a gas. We are going to deal on a chemical level of treatment. Adsorption is also a chemical phenomenon. Only flocculation is here, which is not a chemical process. Okay, flocculation is not a chemical unit process. Alright, then for screening units, velocity of fill in the blank are satisfactory. See, experimentally it has been observed that a velocity ranging in 0.6 to 1.2 meter per second is very much optimized range of velocity in screening units. Okay, the range is 0.6 to 1.2 meter per second. Then macerator is, okay, we just talk about this device. Macerator, barminator and comminutor are comminution devices, okay, and we have been provided macerator. See, all these three devices do what? They trap the floating debris or suspended debris, large debris which are present in wastewater, and they shred it, they trap it first and then they shred it down so that this material can go and settle down or get totally consumed, or let's say get removed or stabilized in further treatment unit devices. Okay, macerator is the comminution device. Then advantage of HRTF, that is high rate trickling filter over conventional trickling filter is R. Okay, there may be one or there may be many. Less cost of operation. Yes, we are having more volumes recycled, that's why operation cost gets reduced. Okay, we don't have to rely on one large trickling filter, we can have a small trickling filter, we can recycle the wastewater, and yes, we can have less cost of operation involved in that. Less volume requirement. Obviously, the conventional trickling filter is voluminous in size or massive in size as compared to HRTF or high rate trickling filter. Then less fly nuisance. Since we are recycling the wastewater, there is no stagnancy of wastewater, and that's why it will lead to less formation of sewage flies, or we will be having less fly nuisance. That's why the answer is all of the above. Okay, then in sewage treatment, gas transfer is used to, okay, we just discussed this point. Gas transfer means addition of a gas in order to treat the wastewater, in order to settle some solid, or removal of a gas in order to remove some gases such as methane is there or some else type of gas in order to reduce the odor. Okay, it is the removal we are talking about. That's why gas transfer aims at both the processes, adding the gas and removing the gas as well. Then fill in the blank is a or an ion transfer process in wastewater treatment. Is it adsorption? Is it chemical precipitation? Is it chemical coagulation, or all? See, all the three processes which are mentioned here are ion transfer processes. Whether it is adsorption or chemical precipitation or chemical coagulation, all these involve transfer of ions. That's why the option should be all of the above. Then organic nitrogen in wastewater treatment can be determined by using Hofner, Geldal, osmosis, none of the above. See, the point here we have to remember is we refer the organic nitrogen in wastewater as Geldal nitrogen. Okay, that's why remember, whenever we are talking about ammonia or nitrogen in wastewater, do remember Geldal method is the one. Then temperature of wastewater is generally fill in the blank that of domestic supplies. See, when we are talking about water supply, the temperature of water supply is less as compared to wastewater, because whenever the water is being used in processes such as kitchen is there, industry is there, or some manufacturing plant is there, the temperature of the used water rises. That's why the temperature of wastewater will always be slightly, okay, even by some few degrees, let's say 2 3 5 degrees, it will always be more than the supply of water for domestic uses, okay, or domestic water supplies. Okay, the answer here is more than. All right, then putrefaction is a term used for, see, when we are talking about anaerobic decomposition, we say the atom is undergoing putrefaction. Anaerobic decomposition means in absence of bacteria that utilize oxygen for the decomposition of organic material. Alright, then wastewater is classified as medium strength wastewater when its BOD lies in the range of, see, when the BOD lies in the range of 220 to 230, the wastewater is referred to as having medium strength. Okay, when the range goes way beyond 400 and 450, it is called as high strength wastewater. Okay, the strength of wastewater is determined, or the reference for the strength of wastewater is used with reference to BOD, biochemical oxygen demand. Then fill in the blank denotes amount of under decomposed nitrogenous material in wastewater. See, is it nitrites or nitrates or albuminoid nitrogen or ammonia? See, when we are talking about under decomposed nitrogenous material or partially decomposed nitrogenous material, we look at presence of albuminoid nitrogen in that. Okay, the more albuminoid nitrogen we find in a wastewater sample, more we are looking at under decomposed nitrogenous material inside the wastewater sample. Then when dilution factor is fill in the blank, wastewater can be directly discharged into river stream. Okay, when the dilution factor is more than 500, we can directly let the wastewater go inside the river stream. Okay, and if the range is below 300 or below 150, then we have to add, or we have to increase the level of treatment. Okay, if it is above 300, then pre-treatment and some units related to primary treatments are used, then the wastewater can be discharged. Then if it is about 150 or more than 150 and less than 300, then preliminary treatment, primary treatment and some sort of chemical treatment should be given. And if it is less than 150, then we have to extensively treat the wastewater first, then and only then we can discharge the wastewater inside the river stream. Then final disposal of sludge is done by, what we can do to get rid of the sludge? Can we use it in landfilling, sanitary landfill? Yes. Land application? Yes, we can just spread it over a land. And manure making? Yes. If the nutrient value of the sludge is more, we can have fertilizer or manure, and it can be used in agricultural applications. Okay, therefore all of the above should make the right answer. Then how many settling zones are there in sedimentation process? See, there are 4 settling zones: discrete settling zone, then flocculant settling zone, then hindered settling zone, and compression settling zone. Okay, or discrete, flocculant, zone and compression. There are 4 settling zones in sedimentation process. The answer here should be 4. Therefore, this was the solution for the quiz we had for wastewater engineering on our Telegram group. Do join the Telegram group for weekly test. We conduct tests over there, subject wise, topic wise and exam wise. Subject wise means 40 MCQs are there, just like we saw for the wastewater engineering here. 20 questions test is for topic wise test. Okay, out of the 14-15, let's say the number of civil engineering subjects are there, out of the subjects we select a specific topic regarding a subject, and then we discuss the whole topic in format of MCQs. First you attempt the test, then after 2 days or 3 days we come here on YouTube and we discuss all the answers and solutions here. Okay, so do remember to join the Telegram group. Till then, take care. Bye bye.